The last person, but not the least, I'd like to invite Jim, who's going to come and talk with us about St. Andrew's Hastings.
Kia ora, kia ora. Thank you, Stuart. I grew up in St Andrews, Palmerston North, and I was born in the same year that it was built, and I just wondered if I too am a heritage piece. Okay, my story is from our church, St Andrews in Hastings, and Te Akapuaho, and our surprising link that has developed. Have a look at it. Oh, you do it. This is St Andrews. We're right in the centre of Hastings. It's a church built in 1977. Lovely church, good facilities, and I don't know if the logo is very clear to you, but it symbolises what we're about. It's got the rainbow, God's covenant. It's got the dove representing Jesus, the Prince of Peace. It's got the frangipani flowers at the bottom, representing our Cook Island heritage, who have been worshipping with us for about 70 years, and all the wonderful produce from the Hiratonga Plains. We're just, we're Hawke's Bay. We're really proud of our heritage and the bounty that we see there. Our mission statement is to accept all people, strive for compassion, and to seek out Christ's selfless love until we see God's justice realised. And hopefully you'll see in my little story how that has played out for us. There's some of our people after our AGM having soup and rolls. And if we could go to our hall. This is the St Andrews Hall. It was built in 1934. It is an Art Deco heritage building. It's one of Hastings' icons. In 2012, 2013, we completely refurbished it because we wanted to create a better venue for community use and as a drop-in centre. It cost us $680,000. It's 100% earthquake compliant because it happened just after the Christchurch earthquake. It's amazing. We completely redid it. We had new heating, new toilets, new everything, with a kitchenette. Just a really beautiful modern building. As a result of that, we had a lot more usage by the community, but we never got our drop-in centre. It just didn't happen. We got advice from people, and we were basically advised not to, when we didn't have the people. Then in 2020-21, our Presbyterian Support East Coast became a key user. We thought, yay, that's great. They're our sisters and brothers. They're cool use for our hall, but they only stayed there for about 6 months of that year. But then in 2021, the Hastings Church approached us, and they were losing their building also in the centre of town, and they asked if they could lease our hall for worship, both for worship and also as a drop-in centre. Now, the Hastings Church has a huge ministry with the homeless, and we had already become aware of them and their work. Warren Hickey, their pastor, had been talking to us, and so it was just natural for us to say, yes, come on in, guys. We'd love you to be in our hall. In 2023, 2022, they said to us, guys, we don't want to just lease your hall, we want to buy it. And behind that decision was the Hastings District Council and the Kuhumai Trust. For us, for some of us, that was really hard because we thought that it was going to be, we would retain ownership and still have the stake in what was going on with the homeless. But we thought, okay, we will. This is the best use of our resources for God's purposes. But then on the 14th of February 2023, we had something called Cyclone Gabriel. We'll go to there. And you'll all recall that. So we'd made the decision to sell the hall at that stage, and the Gabriel struck. It was just massive for our area. And you can just flick through those pictures. That's from our farm. The reaction of us was kind of immediate. And so our minister, Jill, she made her way down to church that morning and just opened up the doors and put a sign out saying anyone, all welcome. By the Friday, Chris Lambourne, her husband, had organised Genland, and that was to borrow generators and bobcats and diggers and stuff, more around the North Island to lend out. Then the following week, with the publicity, money started pouring into St Andrews from all over New Zealand. And included in that was this offering in cash of $10,000 from Te Akapuaho. And we just thought, what? $10,000? You guys don't even pay your ministers. That was a gift from the heart. And it moved us. But anyway, we were really, really busy with the cyclone, and we set up Bridging Hawke's Bay to go out there and assist people as a result of this. But time moved on, and if we go to the next slide, we started thinking about the marae because we knew there'd been a call for funding to strengthen the land stabilisation around it. And we knew now that we'd sold our hall, and we thought, we can reciprocate here. These guys could do with funding. And so at a congregational meeting, we decided that we would give them $20,000 out of the proceeds from the sale of our hall. The hall sale took a really, really long time, and the money only just came through at the beginning of this year. And the strengthening work had already been done, but they were now working on a new project to refurbish the Emily Ross Hall. So the funds were going to be really useful. But then we did a bit of research, and we found out quite a bit about Emily Ross and about the links with us. There it is, pre-renovation. It's now totally renovated, but like the St Andrews Hall. Emily Ross is the lady, the second from the right, and those who had 2 adopted children. She was held in incredibly high regard by the communities in which we worked, and initially that was in Nuhaka. She then there we are. She was born in Wyndham, trained as a teacher, and taught there. She returned to Dunedin and trained as a Presbyterian deaconess, and she served in all those places. But she was factory chaplain at Wattie's in 1962 when a fire destroyed much of the factory, and she was instrumental in helping everyone, the traumatised staff, get their lives back together again. She died in 1981, and the Emily Ross Youth Hall was opened in 1983. So we really have links, more links than we thought when we gave our money to Te Aka Pūaho. There's the Emily Ross connection as well with Hastings. We think that our ministry is characterized by God's abundance and generosity, and there's just 2 readings that remind us about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jim. It just reminds me how connected we are to one another, locally and further afield. And love to remind people as well of the global church, that we are all together, all connected together. I want you just to think about what you've heard today, and what might God be saying to you when it comes to cooperating with each other, with those around you. What might be some things that you've learned that you can bring into your own context? So thank you again to all those who shared.